Good morning, and welcome to another Fiberific live craft and chat. It's 10 o'clock here on a Thursday morning here in Brisbane. Let me know where you are and what time it is for you. I'm adjusting to some new glasses, so I'm going to muck around with them, I'm sure. I can see great. It's more just double checking that I'm not getting like, little lighting white squares like those. We don't want them. They're horrible. Oh. So, I won't do that anymore. I wanted to talk today about being multi-craftual, having a lot of crafts, and how it's okay. It's okay for us to be multi-craftual. Now, I'm not even just talking about knitting and crocheting or spinning and weaving. I'm talking about having crafts outside of yarn craft, having interests outside of yarn craft. I remember a while ago when our good friend over on Bob Wilson 123, she posted something about knitting, and it was like the world had come to an end. I was actually really quite shocked at some of the comments that she received. Now, this was some time ago now, but I do think it's important for everyone to realize that we can all have more than one craft. We can have multiple passions. Like, you guys who watch this channel, right? No, I don't just crochet, and I don't just knit, and I don't just dye, and I don't just spin. And I have multiple passions, one of them being I'm a big old geek, right? So I love anything techie and sci-fi and movies and TV series. And Sally's written here, diamond dots. Absolutely, diamond dots. I love doing diamond dots. If you don't know what diamond dots are, you need to go and check that out. It's one of those crafts that is awesome if you've lost your crojo, right? So if you've lost your crochet mojo, or you just don't feel like doing your yarn crafting, it's a really fantastic craft for that, and it just helps you to sort of keep crafting and feel like you're achieving something. Because one thing that all creatives have in common is that we like to do things. We don't just sit and watch telly. We don't just sit and do anything. If we are sitting, there's a good chance we have something in our lap or near us ready to be picked up and worked on, whether it's like Kathy's saying here, counted cross stitch, or your crochet project, or your knitting project, or even some, need I say with much disdain, your paper craft projects. I'm not the biggest fan of paper crafts. And so it's just really important for us to not really sort of talk down about our sister crafts. And I do see it a fair bit, especially on Facebook. Facebook is a cesspool. And I see people in crochet groups where if someone who deigns to show a picture of knitting in a crochet group, oh my gosh. But do you know that in some cultures and countries, there are not two separate words for knitting and crochet. They have one word meaning both. And so when they look at that group, they don't realize that there's a divide, that there is knitting only and crochet only. And so when people just jump on them and just write these messages of like, this is a crochet group, show your knitting somewhere else, they get confused, I'm just going to have a quick look in here in the chat. Hello everybody in the chat. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you are enjoying being here. Spanish Chick says, stop touching your face. I'm moving my glasses around. Stop picking on me. Gayla, welcome to the chat, Gayla. Hi all in the Midwest. It's evening, just about 7 p.m. 7:02 in Wisconsin from Life's a Gem. Hey Lindsay, welcome to the chat. Good morning, Joss. Are you sneaky watching at work? Kim says blasphemy. Look, and that's the thing. Some people truly believe that there is a craft above another craft. Like for me, I have crafts I prefer to do, and I have pretty strong opinions on stuff. You guys know that. But I don't feel that they are actually better or worse in general, just that I may be better or worse at them. You know, Tracy's here saying, I love diamond dots. I love diamond dots, Tracy. I've got a couple that I've finished and a couple that I've got to work on and one that I've just started. Jackie here's saying that she likes vinyl records and cars and sports and cooking. Multifaceted people. It would be boring if we did and liked all the same things. And how true is that? Fiberific has strong opinions. Understatement much. I mean, I've no rebuttal. For that. Lindsay says, I feel like my main craft is collecting yarn and stashing and storing and shopping for yarn. That is totally its own hobby. It has to be, right? Kelly says, and that is why craft shows are dangerous, because you can pick up a new craft. Absolutely. Tracy's from North Dakota. Hey Tracy, welcome to the live chat. Lindsay's, yeah, Spanish Chick agrees. Stashing is a whole hobby on its own. It absolutely is. And it's just so important in, like, we are living in a very, I'm going to say it's quite a negative society, right? Everyone's always got something negative to say. And it's hard. It's hard to go on some of the social media platforms, even into groups and places that you love, and read and feel pulsing through your screens the negativity that's coming at you. Now, there's some bad stuff happening in the world at the moment, like legit bad, right? But we don't need to be negative to each other about our crafting. I see some comments sometimes where people will talk down to other people about what products they've used, like what yarns they use in their project. Now, I'm gonna say it. Sometimes people use colors that aren't to my taste, and I would never put those colors together. But you know what? The person who made it likes it enough to share a photo, enough to go to that effort to actually put it in a group and share a photo. You know, it's one of those, I just see it sometimes where, like for me, my particular color blend that I don't like is yellow and brown, right? Every time I see yellow and brown together, I sort of inwardly cringe, and I'm just like, ugh. And so I just really try to not comment on the color, because it's not my taste. Look at the stitch work. Look at the effort. Look at the overall project. Find something positive to say, and at least click the like button, because somebody has gone out of their comfort zone to post a photo. Very 70s grandma couch. It really is. And it was one of my primary school uniform colors. It was not my favorite. Sally's like, that's the Hawthorne colors. So you like what you like until you find out there's better. And that's the thing, because and you're absolutely right there, Spanish Chick, because over the years, over my crafting journey of years, my tastes have changed. And the yarns that I used at the start versus the yarns that I use now, totally different. Because you learn about the stuff at the very local $2 cheap shop may not be as good quality as the stuff at the big box craft store. It could be the same, you know, it depends. And then you might go to that next step. Well, I want to make something special, so I don't want big box craft store. I want something hand dyed. And so you go off and find, and all these, like, as you search and learn, these new doors fly open with hallways of crazy colors, and it's very insane. Uniforms scar us, from Jill. Absolutely, uniforms can scar us, Jill. I usually say something like, there's a lot of love in that. Absolutely, something like that, just to acknowledge the work they've put in. We all know how much work and how much time goes into a project, no matter what color and no matter what yarn that you use. Spanichick saying, you tend to start with cheap and cheerful because it means you can splurge and see huge stash increases. Absolutely. Look, I don't even know how many years ago it was quite a few years ago. Our local big box, which is Spotlight, had this huge sale on all these crazy yarns, and I went a little crazy and I spent $50 and brought home like 60 skeins of yarn, and they were crazy bobble thick. Like, I didn't know that the texture and the styles of yarn was going to limit what I could make with it, because I didn't know. And now I've learnt some of that, it got rehomed and some of it got turned into homewares, like cushion covers and things like that. And it is just, we all start somewhere. I don't know of many people that their very first project was hand dyed, $40 a skein yarn. Now, I'm not saying there's not those people, because there definitely are. I know they exist. But I don't know of many that do that. Most people start with a lesser grade yarn. My pet peeve is people who tell beginners to buy cheap needles and tools. And those of you that have been around for a while know how I feel about quality tools. And I think you need to buy the best tools you can afford. And even if you just buy the needle that you need for this exact project, rather than for, like all the future knitting, you need to buy the best tools that you can afford. Okay, so it's one of those things where you save on your yarn and you splurge on your tools, and then eventually you realize, hang on, some of these other yarns are a bit better than these yarns for this particular project. But in saying that, I'm using $2.50 yarn, like per ball, on my queen, and it's coming out beautifully. It's just depends on what you need for the project you are working on. Alison says, my parents would say, if you can't say something nice, then don't say it at all, or treat the person the way you would like to be treated. Exactly, Alison, that's exactly right. So many people sit behind their keyboards, and I'm not just talking trolls and nasty people. I can't even tell you how many knitting and crocheting groups on Facebook, and these are the people in these groups that sit there and write narky things and make silly comments that don't help the conversation. And I just sort of sit there reading, thinking, and generally I don't say anything. I normally angry type for a while, like, and then delete. Generally I do just sort of sit back and think, how are you helping? Someone posts a question on what is blocking, or how do I block this thing? And you can pretty well be guaranteed there's at least 3 people who jump in and go, I've been knitting, crocheting, whatever for 60 years and I've never blocked a thing. And I sit there and think, wow, you give away dirty, unfinished projects. But that's not how they see it. That's my brain putting what is on there. Like, I know I have greasy skin, so I wash every single thing before I gift it or give it away, because they're getting enough of my hair. They don't need my skin and dog hair and dust and everything from however long it took me to make the thing. So I always wash it and dry it. Now, especially for big projects like blankets, you don't lay them out and pin them out once they're a big blanket. You wash it and you dry it, and you wash it and dry it in the manner that the yarn is set to be. That's technically blocking. And if you don't know that, then that is a question you could be asking, rather than going, I don't do that. So rather than jumping into the threads and going, I don't do the thing, maybe be quiet and read what other people suggest and recommend, and maybe write, wow, I haven't done this before, I'm going to give it a try, rather than you don't need to waste your time with this. And it's just like that, they're asking a question on how to do something, not should I bother. Sorry guys, this whole thing, this blocking thing has been coming up and going and rotating through Facebook now for months, probably longer, but it's really been forefront in my brain for months. And it's just an example of the negative comments that people make. Now, they may not realize that that comes across as being negative. And that is just, like, they need to have a think about it. They need to have a think about it. You're very passionate. I am. Sorry, Caitlin. I'm very passionate about stuff. I'm like, let people learn and try things. And, like, hang on, I need tea. My non-sponsored T2 spot and the Fiberific Redbubble mugs. If you would like your own Fiberific mug to drink your tea out of, go to fiberific.redbubble.com. Jessica says, I have Facebook account. I never go on there. I just listen to you and have fun. Hey, look, you got to do what you got to do, Jessica. If Facebook's too much of a dumpster fire and it does your brain in, then don't go there, honestly. But I get some of my best ideas from Facebook, honestly. I get some really great ideas. So I'm learning to knit, and I posted a picture and got blasted for how bad my stitches looked and crooked sides. Tracy, that's dreadful. You're a beginner knitter. I know no beginner knitters who had perfect knitting to start with. Everybody has learning curve. What you need to do, Tracy, is you need to go and join the Fiberific Fun Zone over on Facebook, and you put your beginner knitter photo in there. You are not going to get blasted for a beginner knitter photo. That is dreadful. And see, look, and you're a strong person by the sounds of it. You've just sort of taken it on board, and I can imagine how disappointing that would have been every time you get the little ping saying, hey, someone's commented on your post, and then you look at it and it's negative. Imagine if you could have that little boost every time, like, oh, that's exciting. Somebody liked my thing. Someone gave me encouragement rather than being a nasty cow. Honestly. Lindsay says, I almost hate it when people ask what the group likes best, A or B. Like the 11 billion comments they will get mean anything. It's going to come down to what they like most anyway. It really is. And look, this is the thing. We are all individuals. Everybody likes something different. And that's okay. That's more than okay. It's important that people like different things, but that doesn't mean we need to be disparaging unless it's trifle with green jelly, because that's wrong. You know, like, it just has to be encouraging. People talk about, oh, how these crafts are dying, and it's so good to see people doing them again because these crafts are dying. Have they ever considered that the reason that less people, not at the moment obviously, but less people generally pick up crafts in general is because when they go online for help, they get treated like this? Like, I remember when I was at a spinners guild, they had a day where a young mum turned up. She had 2 little kids, and she managed to get 2 little kids and a spinning wheel, and she was just like, I really want to learn. I really want to learn how to do this. And they basically said, no, we don't let kids in here, go away. And I watched her walk away. And then in the next meeting, they talked about how memberships were down. And I was just like, really? I wonder why memberships are down, you know? Alison says, I was hunting through my fiber stash this morning and discovered my T2 order that I bought to give out at Easter. Whoops. Just as well tea has good use-by dates. Absolutely. Don't let it go to waste. Don't let it go to waste. Oh dear. Look, Jackie, I actually personally don't mind bacon in potato salad, but my family don't let me change the recipe that I've been using for the last 20 years. And if I try and change it up, which I did one year, and oh my God, it was not worth it. But I personally love bacon in potato salad. Bacon, egg, potato, mayo. What's not to like about that? But yeah, I agree with you. My family are wrong. But they love the potato salad. And it's kind of one of those, it really is the taste of our childhood. And so it's like messing with the taste of your childhood. So what I've been told I'm allowed to do is, as long as I make the stock standard bacon. No, see, now I want bacon. My brain's just settled on it. The stock standard egg, potato, and mayo potato salad. I'm allowed to make another potato salad where I'm allowed to be a bit more creative. Yes. Gamer says no egg. Yes, Gamer, you would not be able to eat the egg. You would not be able to eat my potato salad. Freaky said, I'd eat the bacon, but not the salad with mayo or eggs. Okay. Sally says, I can't put the bacon in your potato salad because of veggies. Steph says, I stopped posting in some groups, asking questions because people act like I should already know how to do whatever, and I've only been crocheting almost 2 years. And see, this is the thing. I've been crocheting for, I don't even know how many years now, like 20? How old am I? 30. God, let's not do that math ever again. But there's still tons of stuff I don't know. There's always new techniques coming up. We should never feel like we can't ask questions, but you are right. Some people answer the questions like you should absolutely know how to do it. Now, I'm not saying I've never done that, because I've reread some things I've written sometimes and I think, oh, that could have been taken the wrong way, right? But I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I think that we should be able to ask questions in any craft group, in any situation, whether it be in real life or on Facebook or, whatever. If it's relevant to that group, then I think you should absolutely be able to ask it without fear of, wow, you've been crocheting for more than 3 minutes, so you should know how to do this. It's hard sometimes to find ways to encourage, but also provide constructive pointers to help people improve. And that's where I come unstuck sometimes, Spanichick, is trying to convey another way to do something, but without negating what they've already done. It can be tricky. And it is a balancing act, and it can also be your perception or the perception of the person you're talking to. It's insane. You love the pompous voice. Caitlin says, how are new people going to learn and keep the craft alive if people are shot down for asking questions? That's an excellent question, Caitlin, because that is true. How are we supposed to carry on these crafts, and how are we supposed to learn something new without somebody having a little meh, 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 meh. And this is why I say I'm not the craft police. If you are happy with the final outcome of your project, that's cool. But if you wanted to learn a different way to do a thing, or why this thing didn't do what you were expecting, then as long as you're open to that's the other thing, you've got to be open to the feedback, then going from there. Spanichick says, some people don't like feedback even when they say, what do you think? Look, and I have been in a situation personally where I asked somebody I really respected for feedback on something. I'd never done a particular knitting style, and they'd just given some awesome feedback to another friend of mine who had a similar project, and I think they'd had a little bit more experience than me, so theirs looked obviously much nicer. And it was, what was I doing? I was doing, I knitted a Fair Isle beanie, and I'd never really done much in the way of Fair Isle, and I knew my stitches were a dash on the tight side. It was still okay, and I knew to fix it, but it wasn't then that I knew if you knit it inside out, you actually get a bit more give. Anyway, and they turned it inside out, and they said these stitches are too tight, and threw it back to me, and that was it. That's all I got. And it was just like, thanks. Like, what do you say? Spanichick says, I also hate posts prefixed with please be kind. I'll tell you why I hate posts that are prefixed with please be kind. Because I don't think they should have to prefix it. I mean, and sometimes they'll like, please be kind, but then write some racist douchebag comment. This is not necessarily knitters, this is just, you know, social media in general. And they'll write some horrible comment and then be all like, but I asked people to please be kind. And you're just like, ugh, but then you were a douche. But if somebody's like posting an image of their craft that they've just poured their soul into, and then they've written, please be kind, but I need some pointers, or tell me what you think, you can be like, well, I think you could work a little more on choosing better contrasting colors, and here's some tips on how to do that. Or I think you could, you might need a little bit more practice in how to get your edges straight, but overall it looks really good. Like, there are ways to be kind and still give, it's so frustrating. Lindsay says, I saw someone today ask, when we go from adventurous beginner to expert, it's a valid point. There's always something to learn. Nobody knows it all. I agree. I have been teaching knitting and crocheting for years. I can crochet a lot of different things, and I don't class myself as an expert. I would consider myself intermediate, because I know there's a lot of things I still don't know how to do. I consider myself advanced intermediate. And I was actually thinking about today, because I have to write a new blurb for my workshop. Pay me to teach you to do these things because I am awesome. And I was just like, okay, so I am qualified by Craft Yarn Council of America to teach beginner and intermediates in both knitting and crochet, but I also have some skills in some next level crochet and knitting techniques. So it's just like, yeah, that sounds okay, that'll work. Because I'm not an expert. I have opinions, just a couple. I have opinions, but I'm also really willing to go, oh, well, I screwed that up, and rip it out and start again. You have to be willing to rip it out. Spanish Chick says, when I see the please be kind, I think they just want the good feedback without any helpful hints. Look, and I think it depends on the individual person, but when I see it, that's generally where I think I'm like, yeah, just keep scrolling. Or read it, because it's always a dumpster fire. And sometimes, you just need popcorn and a little dumpster fire to start your day. Freaky Geek says, sometimes just changing the size of the tool might help. Been hearing that a lot when swatching. Absolutely. Sometimes changing the size of your hook, because like our yarn labels, they all recommend, or most of them recommend, a hook size or a needle size, but they don't know you. Do you know what I mean? They don't know what kind of drape you're trying to get with this particular yarn. You need to change your hook sizes depending on the project you're doing, and absolutely changing your hook size can totally fix everything. Talia says, no one would have been more anxious about the kids' behavior than their mother. She must have thought they could handle being there, if only for a little bit. Absolutely. And like, I was in the room, the kids were quiet. One of them was asleep in a stroller, and the other one had some little toys to play with. Like, she had a good hour where she could have sat there and just learnt something and been like, okay, they're starting to get really, I'm going to go. But they didn't give her the opportunity. Kelly Souls, it feels good when you're able to help someone. I don't understand how some people don't get that. I think that comes down to a personality thing, Kelly. Look, not every person in the world is willing to help. Some people quite like that they're superior to others, and they quite like exerting that superiority. And I don't think that does anyone any favors, them nor the people that are trying to learn. So, sorry, I just saw something in the background, but it was just a flying thing. Yeah, and I don't think that helps anybody, like, we're all learning here constantly learning. And if you've stopped learning, there's a problem. Where are we? Talia, yeah, I mean, and Spanichik, you're right as well. There is always the cases where that's not true. The mum thinks everything's fine and everything's not fine. Jill says, I get so much joy from helping and seeing us all learn and grow. See, and I agree with you, Jill. I'm in this group of people in the world who believe that raising other people up doesn't diminish me. And I've said it like a ton of times, but the rising tide raises all the boats. Do you know what I mean? It's not like by lifting somebody else up, I'm now lower. That's not how it is. I don't see myself like that. I compare myself to me mostly. There are days where I get all sad because, you know, I want to be, you know, whatever, excellent at something, and I'm just not. So yeah. Bub says, I'm late again. I have visitors, so I'll be listening. Okay, Bub. Where are we? So some people forget that we all have to start somewhere. Yeah. Not the boats with the holes in their soles, I mean hulls. I mean, that's true. They're like, you know, and this is probably a little deep for you know, in the morning with tea and no booze. But there are different types of people in the world, and there's those that have the scarcity mindset, which is they have to try and grab everything for themselves because there's not enough to go around, and they need to make sure they've got enough. And then there's the people that have the prosperity mindset, where we think that there is enough for everybody and there's no need to scramble like that. I'm in the latter group, and it's not that. And I mean, I've been in the scarcity group before, and it was hard for me. It was hard for my mental health. It was hard for me to build my business and grow thinking like that. And once I let go of that and realized, you know what, there's enough to go around for everybody, there really is, then I have just relaxed more. And I think that's part of it as well. It's not even so much that there is more or less to go around, whatever. It's whether or not we relax and enjoy the process. And like, as you guys know, I'm a process crafter, not a project crafter. I have to enjoy the process. I've been working very hard on my very small business for 9 years. If I did not enjoy the process of running a small business, then I would have given up a long time ago, because it's not moving from being a small business anytime soon. Gamer Widow says, it's like my daughter's skirt. Is it perfect? No. Is it heaps of work that involve new skills and dedication? Yes. And I'm very proud of her and her work. I think that skirt is stunning, and I am so glad she did it all. Jill says, same. I had to grow and change too. And I think that's part of growing up. Honestly, I think it's part of becoming an adult. And then as adults, we need to learn that once you're an adult, that's not the end of the journey. You need to be a functioning adult. You need to be a caring adult. You need to be a contributing adult. And I'm not talking financially. I'm talking to people, other people around you's lives. Make them smile. Make them happy. Make them a beanie. Contribute. I grew up in the scarcity group, but since learnt that information will only become scarce when we don't teach or share. Talia, exactly. That's exactly right. Is that not a bad word? Adult. Adulting. Adulting is hard. I don't know if it's a bad word. It's just hard. I'm having more tea, you guys. I'm cranking through the tea today. It's only 10:30 and I'm already on my second top up. It's because I'm talking so much. All her Zoomy aunties are proud of her. Absolutely. And I hope she knows that as well. So I know today I wanted to talk about crafts and how it's okay to have multiple crafts. One of the reasons for that is I'm off to a sewing retreat on the weekend. Now, sewing's not something I'm good at, so I'm pretty nervous. I can sew a straight line, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's mostly straight. But we're going to be sewing like applique and bags with vinyl, and I'm terrified, but I'm still going to go. But I'm the learner in the room. I'll be the beginner. So, you know, it's important for me that the people around me are encouraging. And don't go, well, that's crap, out the door, boot. Being an adult can suck, though. I was excited this month that my new toothbrush had a tongue scraper. Look, absolutely, it's the little things. Oh, I don't know, Sally. I am. I'm diving in headfirst. Look, I'm going to drop to our hands down shot here because I've got my queen to work on. 2 cameras, Chantel. That's what we want. 2 cameras. Okay, so this is a little bright, but it's all right. This is not quite as bricky orange as it looks in the photo, but it's getting there. Why are you going with me? I won't be encouraging. I will be drunk. Look, and because you'll be drunk, I can just ignore what you say. Spanish Chick says 36 minutes until the actual crafting starts. Is that a record? Look, no, we've had whole live streams where I haven't crafted at all. So just so that everybody knows, I'm not Tinna, and I need to mention that because somebody commented on one of the videos asking if I was. I have permission to do this, as long as I don't show the chart, so I just have to keep making sure the chart's out of shot. I have permission to work on my queen while I'm live streaming. I'm currently on row 73. I did put it down for a couple of days while I got some other jobs done so that I can go away for a weekend without guilt. Like, am I the only person that, like, when it's time to, like, go away and do something for yourself, it's just like, oh my god, I have to make sure all the things are done. But I don't really want to do them, really. I'm like, oh no, I brought my crown in. I did, look. So we have a joke in amongst Fiberifians that when you work on your queen, you need to wear a crown because you're a queen. So I have my crown. I mean, it's just not straight, but it'll do. Oh, hang on, trying to fix it. Not working. Look. Let's just try again. Alright. Kim made me my crown on her super cry cut machine. Kim is a cry cut wizard. Cricket, whatever. Don't care. Sally is still waiting on her yarn to arrive. She ran out and had to order more. It's here. I had it. Look, I remember to bring it out with my crown. Do you know what? I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Oops, back that out. I may work on my queen in the lounge room at home by myself with my crown on. My husband comes home from work every now and again, looks at me and just shakes his head, just goes away. I'm like, cool, that works. I'm waiting on mail from Down Under. We'll post on Facebook when it shows up. Freaky, I'll let you know when I ship it. I'm waiting on the extra bits to come from Chow Goo. If that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Look, you know, we all have our momos with our husbeasts. The game was, I'm still twitchy, finished projects, can't decide what to work on next. Well, what's on your list? We might be able to help you. Steph loves the crown. Thank you, Steph. Made by the amazing Spanner Chick for me. She made a few, so that was cool. Sally says, I probably wouldn't even notice if I wore a crown. Oh dear. Oh yes, that is what you're waiting for, Freaky. Well, I will let you know. I was expecting the Chow Goo order to have already arrived, but it has not yet. And I don't have, since COVID started, they haven't been, they ship the order, but they don't send me the tracking, and so I can't even track it, which is frustrating. But I get it, they're only got limited time in the warehouse, so they spend that time shipping orders rather than sending emails. I too am working on my queen, although I'm back down on row 23 and 24. I'm finding it easy to work both rows at a time. It's the adventurous queen, and also yours is the vertical adventurous. So Freaky, what I'll do is I'll contact you about the extra money later once I know exactly how much it's going to be. I have to wait for them to clear customs and come through so I can see the price difference, and I will let you know. So you know, it'll be, I'll have more info for you soon, buddy. So these are not like how to do a queen videos. These are just me working on my queen while we chat about other things. So do you have any questions that you would like advice on that you think that opinionated Chantel could help with? Then let me know. Chuck it in the chat. So we've got a few people from around the world today. We've got quite a few from the USA today. We've got a couple from Canada, lots from Australia. Throw into the chat which country you're in. I'd love to see. Well, if I could, back in the day, there used to be a way to do a great poll, but they took that way away, and now they still have poll options, but they're nowhere near as good. Okay, so I'm using Brava worsted weight, colors that I could as close to possibly match to the Tequila Sunrise colorway set that they put up. I liked the Tequila Sunrise, but I also wanted to use a Brava worsted so I could make a bigger blanket. Oh, here we go. Here comes everybody. Kim's in her own private hell. She's not in a particular country. Hey Jen, didn't know you were in the chat. Lots of Aussies. Freakies, Chile, Canada here. No darts thanks to COVID. Oh, well, I mean, at least you've got us. Lindsay's ordered some hand-dyed fibre from the UK, so she's going to have a go. Holly's in California. Holly, for some reason I thought you were Australian. I don't know why. Yeah, more time with the chats. Absolutely. I mean, that's a good thing, right? I would assume that's a good thing. But, like, I know how much you love your darts, and not being able to play must be a pain. Jen is lurking today, working on a project away from the computer and listening and enjoying the chat. Oh, thank you, Jen. So I know I get quite passionate about things. I rewatched part of last week's video on the color setting problem. I think I need some time off Facebook because it seems that Facebook riles me up and then I come here and be all like, rah! Holly says, no, but I have a cousin that lives in Newcastle. Okay. I honestly don't know why I thought you were in Australia. No idea. There's probably no logical reason for my thinking. Jill is in Port Macquarie. Nice. It's nice and close. Showed my aunt today some of the yarn I've spun on the Canadian production wheel. Let her hear that annoying sound it can make, and she said, nope, can't hear that upstairs. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I mean, it's not awesome that the wheel is making a horrendous noise, but at least it's not annoying her, so that's cool. Have you looked into ways to stop the noise? Like, I don't know what the noise is or where it's coming from, but sometimes a bit of lubrication goes a long way on spinning wheels, and different kinds of wheels require different lubricants. So make sure you're using the right one for your wheel. I know that Kromskys use wax, and Marja Crafts use Vaseline. Ashford's use machine oil. So you just need to make sure you're using the right one for the right thing. Kim, you're terrible. I just need to, like, grab a tissue. My nose is just itchy. And that's something that you do have to do on your Marja Craft wheels to stop your bobbins from making a lot of noise. Lindsay says Facebook rage is real. I had to mute all the news posts and anything remotely negative that I follow. It was making me cranky and mean. Yeah, like I've got a few things that I'm not sort of following along with at the moment just because I'm a bit over it. And I think part of it is I'm just in like utter disbelief. Like I'm just like, what? It's like I just have to scroll on. I can't scroll. My brain can't take it in. Don't touch what? My itchy nose. I gave it a little scratch in the tissue. Sally says, I just realised who you are. Gumleaf Crochet. Great to see you here. Aw. So speaking of other yarn crafting professionals, I think that after live stream today, I'm going to go and check out Mean Mother's new store that opened up the road. I'm going to go and have a look and ask if I'm allowed to take any photos and share my adventures on Instagram. Look at you making your way on your mosaic. I know, this is my first mosaic crochet, you guys. Like, I think I've done a little square, and I did Tina's test crochet, like the, you know, like the beginner ones that she said to do. But yeah, this is my first full-size, proper, legit project. Did you say Mean Mothers? I did. I don't know why it's called Mean Mothers. I'm sure there's a very interesting story. But yes. Kim wants to know if I can ask if I can play with the jumbo Etimo hooks. Like as in the ones that you've worked out of plastic rather than the metal. I'll have a look. Mean Mothers is a yarn crafting store that went from an online store that's now opened up as a bricks and mortar store that's opened up in my local area. So I want to go and check them out. They sell all sorts of cool things, and I've been hearing some really positive stuff, so I want to go and have a look, because it's like I drive past them to pretty much do anything because of where they are, so they're that local. Caitlin says, I turn off notifications on Facebook and don't look at it much. I like Instagram more because I can follow other like-minded people. Look, I've just been going through, and like if I see something come up in my feed that I'm not a fan of, I actually mute that person and anything they've shared like that. If they've shared a thing, I also mute them. Jen says, I'm working a 6-day kid and my yarn is on the way from Good Loops for my Queen Mosaic. Oh, exciting. So did you go with the bamboo cotton blend from Good Loops? I don't know what the name of everything is. Eco Lush? That's probably wrong. I've got some of the bamboo cotton and I love it very much. I think it's great. I have been looking at, I'm not sure if she's in the chat today, but Deb, who is part of the Fiberific Zoomers group, she's been doing this in Bendigo cotton. And I'm just like, oh my God, I want to make one in Bendigo cotton now too. Jill says you're doing amazingly and it's just awesome. Thank you, Jill. Jen's doing eco cotton. Okay, look, I think, because I want to do one in cotton, I think that'll look amazing in cotton. A Good Loops Queen, absolutely. Sally said it's just so disappointing that the Mean Mothers Stylecraft DK is just so expensive. Yeah, look, I mean, it is. There's no softening that blow. It's very expensive, but the reality is the second you open up a bricks and mortar store, your costs go up, and that's got to be recouped somewhere. So, you know, it's not ideal, but yeah, it's amazing in bending. It is. It's looking stunning. It's looking absolutely beautiful. Hang on, I'm a bit twisted up here. And I want a bit under my elbow because my elbow is sore. But yeah, no, the Bendigo cotton's looking amazing. I've got some of the bamboo cotton in, I think it's Eco Lush. I can never remember what they're called. Kim would know. Yeah, Freaky, I think it's time to move house. Maybe it wanted a hug. Maybe it did. Maybe it wants you to change the channel. I hate the spiders. Look, yeah, I'm not a fan of spiders, honestly. I really don't. Sally says, I'm wondering if I should bite the bullet and purchase the one skein so I can continue on with my queen till the other yarn gets here. Well, I understand your frustration in wanting to work your queen, but there's a pretty decent chance you're going to get a different dye lot. It may not matter, but it may. So, you know, that's always a consideration as well. Oh, Maddie wants a pet tarantula. So you tell Maddie when he moves out of home, he can have whatever pets his landlord lets him have. That's what I tell Abby. Talia says, my daughter found a spider in the bathroom yesterday. She got it in an empty toilet roll and has named it Wolfie. No, nope. Do you have the Eco Fusion that's a tad thicker like the DK or the Lush, which is good for fine work? Oh, I might have the Fusion, because mine's thicker for sure. I have to look at it. I have to go and look at the balls. I can never remember. I got mine from Skane Sisters down in Sydney while I was there. She's dealing with the mean girl drama at school, and I told her Wolfie doesn't care what they think. Aw, I hate mean girl school drama. It ticks me off. I've got a daughter at school as well, and it's just like when she comes home sad because of some crap, and you're just like, oh, I just want to come in and knock heads together, and you just can't because, like, I'm an adult and they're a kid and there's, like, rules. And you're like, back off. I mean, I haven't heard anything for a little while now, whether Abby has stopped telling me because of my reaction or whether it's actually stopped is a whole nother story, though. He was telling me they're just furry so he can pat it just like a kitty. No, Kim, no. John says I need a tarantula to deal with the mice. Do tarantulas eat mice? I didn't know they ate anything quite that big, but okay. If the spider can pick a corner and stay there, it's okay. If it moves closer to me, it's a goner. We used to have this house years ago when I was a kid, and it had like a skirting thing, like a little shelf all the way around, like not quite at the top of the roof, but you know, just like a little display thing. We didn't put it in, it was there when we bought the house. And we used to tell spiders if they come past that, they're dead. And they would come past it and we would kill them, and then they'd look all surprised and stuff, and it's like, we told you. Jen says, I hate to say, but mean girls grow into mean women and they still bully. Yes, they do. Because no one's pulled them up when they're a kid to let them know that their behaviour is completely unacceptable. And what actually happens is your child's told, oh, she's got such a thin skin, she needs to get thicker skin if she's going to survive in the world. And it's just like, well, maybe your kid could stop being such a douche and then everyone would survive better in the world. Asking if John has his crown on, is that what you're asking? My sister-in-law wants a tarantula and name him Sexy Legs. No! Oh no, tarantulas. Look, I don't like spiders, and I don't like tarantulas, and I don't like anything like that, right? But I was watching this TV special about this man who was on a highway stopping cars because it's like this massive tarantula mating season somewhere, and they cross the road and get squished by cars, and so he actually stops them and puts them in a little cage and carries them over and releases them. So, and I thought that was really sweet, but dude, I'm not doing it. Jen says, I'm just told I'm overly sensitive. Me too. Me too. Stop being so sensitive. Stop taking everything to heart. It's like, stop being a douchebag. Yeah, it is. That's the thing, Caitlin. It was sweet, but no, not for me. Talia says, mine has started that now to telling me I have to be nice. Nope, have to look after yourself sometimes. That means I have to be mean. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thick skin is overrated. What we need is more kindness. Yes. Why should we have to build up calloused skin just so that we can survive, like, dealing with humans? You know, like, I'm happy to build up some callous skin so I can play my guitar, or so that I can use a hot glue gun without getting really badly burnt. But I'm not going to build up callous skin just to deal with human people. I'm like, well, if you're going to be like that, sorry, human person. I'm just going to check something because I don't normally get messages during stream. It was just a dumb message. It's like, you know when advertisers get your phone number, like when you put an order in and then they start tweeting you, like not tweeting, they start messaging you about the sales, and it's just like, never ordering from you again. Teach people not to be douchebags rather than teaching people to deal with coping with crap. I know. What a novel approach. Let's teach people to be kind to each other so that people can cope with that. Jackie says humans are butt faces. Yes, they are. They absolutely are. Freaky says, I'm a marshmallow. Sadly, nothing bounces off me. Aww. No, it wasn't you, Kim. It was Kogan. So annoying. So something that's happened is Margicraft have brought out some new bobbins, and they're really cool, and they look a little bit like the 3D printed cutouts with like all the cutouts on the end so you can see you spinning. And I had a lady order some yesterday, and I had to double check that they could go on the Aura, because the current standard bobbins can't go on the Auras, because the Aurans have got these 2 little pins for holding the bobbins, which is part of their bobbin drive system. So all the bobbins have got to have little holes. Anyway, turns out they can. So I'm like, yes. So I don't have to worry about like, are you buying this for an Aura? No? Good. Marie is off. Bye, Marie. Have a great night. The golden rule is not really taught anymore. The golden rule of treat people how you want to be treated. Yeah, it's probably too costly being made of gold. Yeah, look, and you know what? I think like we have a very bullying society in general. And you know, people try to walk all over the top of other people. I'm trying not to be angry that, you know, we've been walked all over by our insurance company and the local police, because neither of them could do their job, which now means we are out $1,000 for the car. It's just luckily we are insured, and it is just the excess, and the work would have cost 5 times that, if not more. So, you know, luckily it is just the excess. But someone in a hospital car park dinged my car. The hospital have the footage. The police say that they requested the footage and the hospital never got back to them. The hospital say they never received the request. And now we're past the number of days. Like, the hospital apparently only keeps their footage for like 45 days. And we're past that. So I'm just like, oh. Kim just remembered she has donuts. Oh my gosh. Jackie says, but it's all about me. No, it's all about me, Jackie. It's all about me. What happened to my car? So a few, when would it be? Would it be a month? It'd be longer than a month, like 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. I don't know. A fair while ago, I had to go to the hospital to get Abby's plaster put on her arm. We come out of the hospital 2.5, 3 hours later to find that someone has really badly dinged up the driver's side of our car, to the point where we had to have the driver's door replaced and then resprayed. And there was also scratching all the way down the back door and across the, you know, the bar bit. Anyway, it was a lot of work that had to be done. And we went straight to the hospital security, like then and there that day, and asked, do you have footage? And they checked the spot and they said, we will do. Only the police can access it though, due to privacy laws in Australia. I'm just like, okay, all right. So I have to lodge a police complaint, and then I had to lodge an insurance thing. And yeah, and we thought the ball was rolling, and Tim was checking up every now and again. And yeah, it's just a pain. But now it's annoying. Wouldn't the location of the damage be enough proof that it wasn't you? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. You would think. But because we can't prove who the other driver was, they can't prove that there was somebody else at fault. They want a name for that somebody else, not the fact that that person exists. I want a donut as well. And I'm just like, dude, donuts would be great. I matched with a woman on Plenty of Fish, and her username included and cupcakes, and she pointed people to her Instagram username features and cupcakes. That's odd. Why would you? Anyway, Lindsay says, seen on a video that there's a car that can now drive sideways. Well, mine is not one of those cars. Mine is just a stock standard X-Trail. Steph says, the older I get, the more rude people annoy. Me too. Me too. And I think, would I have said that when I was at it, like when I was younger? would I have spoken like that to somebody when I was younger? And I know that I was very good at verbally defending myself, according to my brothers. But I don't know if I would have just said mean things to people just for the sake of it. It gets to the point you need to photo registration of people's cars when you park in the car parks. Yeah. The problem being when I pulled into the space, there were no cars either side of me, and when I came back, there were no cars either side of me. So I've got no idea which cars were there. And still, again, only the police would have access to that information. So I still wouldn't be able to access it. Kim says it's not actually a case of proving it wasn't you, it's a case of them being able to recuperate the cost from another party. Yeah, that's what it is. But they haven't been able to recuperate the costs after X amount of days, and they're all miffy now. So now they're all like, well, you'll just have to pay the excess. And we're like, we don't want to pay the excess. Your excess is rubbish because we didn't do it. Somebody else did it. Yeah, it's all about the dollars. We don't want to pay them $1,000. That's what it boils down to. We don't give them the money. But we're going to have to. And I don't like it. And I'm a whingy baby. I know there's much bigger problems in the world. I really do. But this one really just got on my goat a bit. And if you saw my Facebook post about it, I was in a grumpy mood when I wrote that. And look, I may have made some comments along the lines of, if the cops don't have time to deal with stuff, maybe another department should be dealing with it. I understand that cops have got like a lot to do. I've got friends who are cops, and like none of them even message me to go, oh, you should take that down because it's mean to cops. Like, yeah. They're overworked. Tracy says, I certainly wouldn't have spoken to anyone like that. My mother would have kicked my butt. My mum would have definitely. Bigger problem. How many bottles of wine should I bring for the weekend? Well, like 2. 1 for each day, right? That's what I'm doing. Oh, you were thinking 3? We're going to have a spare? What wine are you taking is another big question. Knit, Pearl and Squirrel with Granny D. Hey, welcome to the chat. I did. I missed your another comment. Hang on a second. I'm scrolling up. Hello. 4. 2 for her and 2 for you. Well, I think we're taking our own. I don't think we're allowed to share anything while we're there. I think that's part of their COVID rules. Oh, I'm at the end of the row. I have to do things a bit different for a second. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, and then it's all right. I know what I've got to do to the end here. You touch the bottle, not what's on the inside. I mean, I hear Kim just drinks out of the bottle, so yeah. I was going to go up to Mean Mothers and then into the booze shop that's a bit farther than that. I'm not a Riesling fan. Oh, where's my... I mean, Riesling's okay, but I definitely prefer Moscato over Riesling. I'll drink Riesling. I'm not fussy. Alright, I have to mark off my row. I just finished row 73. I'm on to row 74. Hopefully I've done it all right and I don't have to pull out any of the row like I've had to do that before. Oh, goodness me. Where are you? Nope. There it is. Where's the end? There's the end. I was showing a friend of mine this blanket and she was like, oh, it looks really nice, but all those ends look terrifying. The Moscato we get is light and refreshing. It is. It's a bit like lolly water, truth be told. But it's very nice. It's very light and I like that. You can drink it out of a schooner glass. I use the insulated steel tumbler so it stays nice and cool. I don't own an insulated steel tumbler. Oh, hang on. I need to be able to see my pattern. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Not that it lasts that long in the glass. Jen says I can't drink sweet wine. Look, I can drink sweet wine better now than I used to be able to. So on row 34 for John. Then we go like this. Then we go like this, like so, and then okay, that should be easy. It's just one of each all the way across. Okay, get comfy, we're in. Oh, and John found a knot. Oh, I know. I thought they were really particular about knots with the Good Loops yarns. You should tell her. I mean, most yarn companies make allowances for knots, but I don't think they do. My hubby was saying something a couple of days ago about how I used to be all about the Shiraz and Cabernet, but now I'm all about it. Yeah, and that was the same thing for me. I used to be all about like the Shiraz. Like I really liked a good Merlot. That was my go-to, a really nice Merlot. But now I'm much more about the light and white. I just want, I don't know, in winter I'll drink a bit more red, but in summer I want those nice light refreshing drinks. Like I really like Recorderlick as well, which is not a wine, it's a cider, but again light and refreshing with a little bit of a fizz. It is a bit like it's a bit like alcoholic soft drink is really what it is. John, you really must work on your death grip tension. His queen looks woven. Oh, okay. Oh. I'm not even going to read that, John. My tea is cold. Yuck. Top it up with the hot stuff. Maybe I could put my wine in my tea thermos. That would keep it cold and I could just drink it like it's tea. No one would know it's wine. Oh my God. John and Daiwen should have a crochet off. I know, they're our death grippers, aren't they? I could just use my drink bottle with a straw. You totally could. We could pretend to have a dry weekend. Oh, no. 1 and 1. 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. Alison says my go-to is Merlot, and for white I like Prosecco. I've heard lots of good things about Prosecco, but I actually don't think I've tried it, to be honest. I should probably have a look and see if I like it. The one that I take to the gym says there's a chance that this is wine. That's clever. I like that. Jen doesn't do social media. So, what projects are you all working on? I'm sitting here on my queen. I was nearly tempted because my clover order came in and I picked up some tools, some sashiko needles and some rubber thimbles, and I was tempted to go and grab my Star Wars blanket and see if they work, but I really just wanted to work on this because I haven't picked it up for a couple of days. I did that for New Year's this year. I put the wine in a straw drink bottle and sat on the beach. Yeah, because no glass allowed on the beaches in Australia, although you see people doing it and then just leaving them there. That frustrates me. John says I'm working on row 34 of the first of 4 large queens I'm making. Ooh, that's a big goal. The Spritzer Shawl by Boo Knits from Stacey. Nice. Is that with the new beads that you bought? And that beautiful yarn you sent me a photo of. Right now I'm working on a Halloween sew along by Stitchonomy from Talia. Ooh. Is it exciting? I've never done a sew along before. Kelly says, I was working on a Mandela Madness, but took a break and now I'm knitting a Dobby hat. Awesome. Oh, the beads match? Awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad. And you should have plenty enough too. You guys know I'm a bit bead mad, so Fiberific's got a fairly decent range of beads. They're all Miyuki seed beads. I only use Miyuki, so I only buy Miyuki. And Talia says, and an almost done crochet dragon sitting beside me. I'm thinking that Emma is going to have to do another one of those gnomes because she's never getting that one back. A stitch along. Oh, it's a cross stitch along. Okay. Cool. I love cross stitch. I used to do a lot of it. I haven't had much time for it lately. I probably should make some more time for it. Hang on a second. Is that in the right? Yes, that's in the right spot. Nikki's knitting a Zweig jumper. It might be ready in time for next winter. Maybe. Knitting a wrap in opium palette. It's working up nicely. Ooh, that sounds lovely. Holly says, I finished a cardigan last night, so I'm starting on a floor puff. Like one of those big round things. Oh, hang on. I gotta kick my shoe off. It's hurting my foot. Alison says, I'm trying my first crochet cardigan called Coral Reef Cardigan by Tammy Hildebrand. It's done in pieces, but I think maybe I should have used a larger needle size. Jen makes fun of me because my hook squeaks in Zoom meetings. Christina O is putting a crochet edging on some handkerchiefs. Somebody in Facebook was asking about crochet edging handkerchiefs, and she wanted to know where to buy the ones with all the little holes already marked into it. I didn't even know you could buy ones with holes marked into it. My now fiance has picked up on how many different crafts I've got and was like, really? Do you have time? The answer is yes, mate, I do. Yeah, now go away. You know, I'm crocheting my queen, though I do want to look and start a Pip and Poppycock's Clover and Bramble gnomes too. They look so cute. They look so adorable. They also look big, but they look awesome. I need something to put my feet up on. Ah, yes, I understand. I bought cheap footstools like for in the lounge room of our house because I'm short and my feet don't quite reach the ground. Who was that? Last week I was at a friend's house and I was sitting on just standard outdoor chairs. Feet didn't reach the ground. The pre-hold ones run at about $6 each. Really? It wouldn't be that hard to place your own holes though, would it? Like just either stab it with your crochet hook or use an awl or something at Melissa's. Yeah. There's a link there to buy the pattern from Pip and Poppycock's Bramble and Clover and Bramble. Right click to buy the pattern. Thank you, Kim. That's an affiliate link which I have to disclose. That when you click that link and purchase using that link, I get a small commission at no cost to you or to Pip and Poppycock. Etsy pay that in all their exorbitant fees that they charge all their sellers. Christina says, yeah, I make my own, or you can run them through a sewing machine with no thread. Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Yeah, I could see that working really well. And keep it, because that would keep it really even. Put a nice long stitch on. Oops, sorry, I leant back. Just making sure I'm not stuffing it up because that happens when I'm on live stream focusing on you guys. Handy Hands sell all kinds of hankies and towels with holes for edgings. Ah, there you go. Full disclosure. That's right. We always have to have our full disclosure because we don't want to get anyone into trouble or people to not be aware. I told you to do that with your fusion blanket. Yeah, but my fusion blanket's like 11 billion layers thick. The holes wouldn't stay. A little hanky is totally different. L'Oreal's, I'm knitting a Siren Song shawl by Truly Myrtle, combining two of my favorite yarn dyes using This Is Not the Green You're Looking For and Riptide. Oh wow, I can't wait to see that. I get my thread from Handy Hands. They have really good selection. Ooh. I don't want to sit at the sewing machine. Yes, I want to do it at the couch. That's right. Also, it would not have worked. My sewing machine is now packed, by the way. Packed and ready. And I think I've got everything except for my buttons ready off my list, off my checklist. Oh, and I've got one piece of fabric I have to iron. Also clothes and wine and snacks. You are not the boss of me. Yes, I can imagine me saying all of these things, Kim. I don't want to sit at the sewing machine. I want to sit on the couch. You're not the boss of me. These are all sound legit like things I would say. Kim has a million buttons. I also have a few buttons. Yeah. Kim's pretty bossy. Look, yeah, she is. But she's also very clever too. So sometimes you just do what she says and something comes out super awesome. Like, have you seen my crown? Kim made my crown for me. And it's, you know, and now I have to wear it every time I'm working on my blanket. Oh, you read that as did you pack Kim yet? No, Kim's packing herself. I'm not packing Kim. I have half-packed crates but need to pull stuff out of them to do things. I've just got to get my clothes ready. And do you guys have favorite pajamas? I have favorite pajamas, and my favorite pajamas are dying to the point where when I stop wearing them tomorrow, they're not going in the washing machine. They're going in the bin. I'm very sad. I'm very sad. But Kim said, because she's bossy, and she said I should keep them and use them to make a pattern because I love them pajama pants so much. So I might do that too. I want Kim to make me a crown with green with spikes and thorns. It's going to be like while we're away, it's going to be single figures overnight. That will be so nice. I'll sleep well. Spikes are longer than thorns. The crown of thorns are reserved. My husband doesn't understand my love for these pajama pants. He's like, just wear the other ones, because I have two that I bought on the same day that are the same, but just different colored fabrics. Like the fabrics feel the same, but there's something about these purple ones. Well, they're purple. My purple ones are broken. You may not sleep that well. I may snore after all that wine. Yeah, me too. Ha ha ha. Tally says, I do that every time. I've kept a couple because I thought I could reuse some of the material. Oh no, the material is the problem here. It's look, they've been worn to death. Okay, so they've been worn pretty well on rotation, but they've been, you know, when they're not in the wash, they're in the washing basket. They don't even go back into the pajama drawer because they just go straight back on. The fabric's gotten so thin that it's just worn through, so I've just got to utilize and, you know, Today's mission is to make a new neoprene bottle cover for Maddie for school, which also involves some cry cut action. Ooh, that sounds exciting. I'm going to go to Mean Mother's craft store and the bottle shop and the post office. I won't wear earplugs, but I've got my earbuds, which I'll play audiobooks, and no one can snore louder than Tim. So anything will be better than what I have to deal with at home. So yes. Oh, mine has done that too, hence the some of them. Fair enough. Fair enough. John says, I have a bag of baby clothes I saved to make quilts for my kids. Whoever correctly guesses how many baby clothes quilts I've made gets a prize. 0. I'm guessing 0. Oh, Sally beat me to it. Okay. But I was still right. Sally wants to know what her prize is, John. You promised a prize. Oh dear. So yes, so today's plan involves me leaving the house. Then I will go to Mean Mother's and play in the store for a little while. And then I will go to the bottle shop because I'm like thinking about what's on the way, and I will buy the Boosingtons, and then I shall go to the post office and then turn around and come home. So that's my plan for this evening, well, for today. I really was thinking I would have had time to make myself a new pair of pants to take away, but I just haven't. And I'm not doing that today because I've packed my sewing machine and it's all ready. Kim's wondering if she needs more wine. Oops, read the question wrong. Now I guess the number of the baby clothes items you have. Just in case I'm not drunk enough after 3. Well, I mean, like, it's wine. You can just take it home if you don't drink it all while you're there and put it in the fridge at home. So, you know, like, buy 4. Spend $20. Get in there, evil thing. Make crochet pants. I don't want to sleep in crochet pants. No, I've got a pair of the pattern that I wanted to make is some what are they culottes, I think, like palazzo pants, but like calf length, like not full length. Made for Mermaids, Cora culottes. I'm so glad you know everything I'm doing, Kim, honestly. Oh dear. Yeah, they're culottes. Ow, I got a little piece of skin. Come off skin. Catching on things, I do not like it. I made the Thai fisherman pants super comfy. I can't sleep in pants so I get too hot. Fair enough. Everything I'm doing means you have to do things. Well, I use doing as it's open-ended as to when they'll be done. That's right, he wears skirts to bed, Kim. That's what he was definitely getting at. It could not have been any other option. Oh dear. Oh, see, Kim, now you have made him go and be detailed. We didn't need the detail. I blame you for that one, Kim. That is your fault. Definitely your fault. Oops, did I just spill tea everywhere? No, it just splashed up on my hand a little. That's it. That's the last of the tea. There's no more tea. Are you taking any non-sewing projects to camp? Yes, I'm going to take my queen. I've been tossing up whether or not to also maybe take my Star Wars fusion blanket. Just not so much to crochet any of the pieces together, but just to do the blanket stitchings, because I can do that sitting on a couch. And it might be nice. But yeah, I'm taking my queen and maybe a few of those squares as well, because apparently our sewing times are only between, is it 9 and 4 each day, or something along those lines. So I'll have time to work on something else, and I can't not work on something. I have to work on something because I'm a creative just like everybody else, and I can't just sit. Kim says, so you're allowed to continue sewing if you need to. That'll probably be me then. I'll probably be trying to keep up with everybody and have to sew half the night. Friday night you cut out all the bits. Okay, cool. I mean, I bought packs. Saturday is applique and Sunday is bag day. And we don't know what kind of applique, and we don't know what kind of bag. It's a mystery. Ah, mysteries. I mean, it's cool, but it's not cool. Oh, we started sewing the bag Saturday once the applique was done. Okay. Kim's been to this camp before. We're pretty certain Booze is okay. Kim wouldn't be going back if it wasn't. Well, we could drink after we cut, or you could just have one drink. Most of us had finished the whole bag by lunchtime Sunday, but most of you have made bags before. I've not made a bag like that. I've made, like, you know, basic bags, the equivalent of like a pillowcase with straps. But not these fancy bags with like the vinyl and the stuff. Kelly says, Spinners are having their open day on Sunday. Have you ever had a stall there? Yes, I did. I used to have a stall there every year for quite a few years. And then I stopped. So, but I didn't even realize their open day was on this weekend until last week when somebody messaged me asking, are you going to be there? And I was like, no, not this year. I didn't realize they would have had it. I thought that COVID would have stopped it. That's because that's a couple of hundred people usually. So I don't know how they're going to social distance that, which is why I'm not worried that I'm not going, because I wouldn't have gone anyway. You've made boxes and things with zippers though. Yes, I have. Yes, box bags and pouch, like zipper pouches. I've done quite a few zippers. I've even made a beanbag that had a zipper on a curve, which was really horrible. I don't recommend that. I thought it was me. I thought, oh, this is way too... Because it's one of those so easy patterns, so you assume it's like a beginner pattern. I ended up taking it to a friend of mine who's a seamstress, and she's just like, this zipper's on the curve. And I'm like, yeah, it's what it looks like to me. And she goes, no, it is. It's on the curve. She goes, yeah, that's not going to be fun. They even give us a glass of bubbly at the welcome party. I have a change purse that's made from just a zipper. Oh, nice. That'd be small though, right? I suppose it depends. Yeah, it would still be small, I would think. Oh, unless it's done where they stitch the zipper and you can keep opening. Anyway, I think, yeah. But it's a change purse, so they're meant to be tiny. My mum's partner has a change purse that's made out of just a piece of leather with like a tie on the top, and he says he calls it his money sack, but it doesn't look like a money sack. It looks like a different kind of sack, and so he thinks it's hilarious. And it's really hard to get that visual image out of your head. He's waving it around. And he says to my mum, "Hey, pass me my something sack." I'm just like, I don't want to visualize my mum doing that, please. Yes. The coin pouches, yes. Those ones. It's a similar idea. Yes, you can get them in kangaroo. You can. His is just a piece of leather that he made himself, though. Yes. Oh dear. Hang on, I see a piece of snowy fluff. I'll get that. Oh, well, this is much calmer and much more relaxing than how we started the chat today, isn't it? Like, I was just like, yeah, rah. Now, here, like, I'll probably always do a yarn craft here on Fiberific. I can't imagine me doing any sewing or anything like that. Although, in saying that, I've been testing out some of my silk threads as, like, not so much the actual sewing cottons, but like, you know, pretty stitches, decorative stitches is the word, and using up some of the plies of some of my silks for that. That's been fun. So I might show that one day, but I probably wouldn't go into any great detail. But while I focus on some crafts, I do a lot of other ones. And I have a lot of other interests. Like, I'm a massive nerd, such a massive geek. I love all my tech gear so much. Blinglet making, yeah, there's going to be some serious blinglet making going on soon. I've got a shipment of the jump rings coming in. I'm following the tracking, and it's just like, really, where are they? A hand embroidery, probably more just a stitch or two, like nothing too exciting. I'm not very good at, I'm actually really quite bad at hand embroidery. Machine sewing is too noisy for live stream. Absolutely it is. I would not be doing it for live streaming. If I was going to be doing any machine sewing, I would do a pre-record and then edit out the sewing machine noise, or at least drop it. I could shame myself with your overlocker. Is that what you want? I've never used an overlocker, and Kim keeps threatening to lend me hers, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh no, there's lots of things I don't know how to do. Lots of equipment I don't know how to use. Like, I'm very interested in learning about Kim's cry cut. All the things that she is able to do with it, I'm just blown away by. And I think that even if I got the machinery, I wouldn't have her skill level at it. Trial by fire is a great way to learn. Look, and I agree with you. I don't know if I like to learn things in private where I could screw it up and fix it up 11,000 times before anyone has to see my dumpster fire. Like, I honestly expect that when I learn something, I have to destroy it and put it back together and destroy it and put it back together so many times. Kim says, ooh, the baby cry cuts are on sale. I was tempted to tell you about it, but I think the bigger one would be more suitable for the things I want to do. I agree with you, Kim. I really do think the bigger one would be more suited. I could make some of my own Fiberific merch then and just sell it from the website and not have to worry about all those expensive things. Sally's been tempted as well. I saw someone on Facebook Marketplace was destashing all of their Cricut stuff, including a Cricut Air, I want to say. It didn't look like your one. It was like $200 with like all this stuff included. I was very tempted. But then I was just like, no, I want the bigger one. I want the one that does all of the things. I would be frustrated. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I screwed that up. That needs... Sorry, I'm at the end of the row and it's different, so I'm just fixing that up. Yeah, get the maker. Yeah, and that was the thing. I had your voice in my head going, no, get the maker, get the maker. I'll just have to wait until I can hit a craft show or something and they've got them on sale. Okay. Like what you did. You got yourself an Uber bargain. Yeah, see, I definitely want to be able to do all the things. Don't scrimp on tools. That's exactly right, Kim. We don't scrimp on tools. If you can't get a good one, wait until you can, which is what I'm doing. All right, we just finished row 74. Hopefully it's correct. We'll soon find out. Up to row 75. And this is only a few more rows left of the second repeat of the chart. I've got like a little tiny piece of skin right here, just right there, that's catching on all the all the fibers. It's bugging me. It's annoying. Yeah, I agree with you, Kim. You're absolutely right. If, like, you and I both know very well, I'm going to want to be able to do all of the things, so there's no point in me buying an Air, no matter how cheap it is, because I'm just going to be frustrated by what it can't do. And I've done that a couple of times. I've bought what I could afford at the time. If only I had some utility scissors. I mean, I've got these scissors. I could totes cut it off. There we go. Kim was here one day. This is where the joke was, and I had like a little piece of skin that was annoying me, like dangling. So, you know, like big utilities. I don't have them handy, but big scissors. It was before I got my glasses, so I couldn't see properly, and I'm like moving my hand, and she's freaking out. Leanne's off. Bye, Leanne. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday or whatever day you're on. Good call. Good call. Maybe I'll put it... Oh, look, I would. It went on to mine, but my husband ignored it. So, you know. Because he just bought a coffee machine, which was my birthday present. Good job, honey. Well done. So, but at least I've got good coffee now. So, you know, I'm not going to complain. And I got the nicest bag. I might change over to that bag for the retreat, actually. I haven't used it yet. All right, what have I got to do here? 1, 2, 3. Get out of the way, little tail. Now, I think, excuse me, going forward, if I was to make another one of these queens using Brava, I would probably go up a hook size. What do you think? Yeah, you can get the machine for $500 if it's on a super sale, but the problem is then you need all the extra stuff. But that's the advantage. If you get the proper machine to start with and some of the basic stuff, then as time goes on, then you can upgrade to that stuff. You don't have to spend $1,000 all at once. But if you buy the cheaper machine to start with, those upgrades aren't an option. So that's where I'm thinking. All right, hang on. I've got to check where I'm up to here. until I get to the repeaty bit. You guys know the drill. Okay, all right, we're on the repeat. It's a catch-22 if you go up a size. Yeah, you would be able to see the other stitches. Oh, yes. Maybe I should just, yeah, I'll just keep, I don't know, maybe I'll just do the next one in Bendigo cotton. And it's different then. I mean, stuff like the tools for weeding the vinyl extra mats and the vinyl and the ironing press and mat if you want to do heap. Yeah, I'd probably buy all that, but I probably would not buy like the wood engraving and the metal engraving and stuff. But there's things that you, oh, excuse me. There's things that you absolutely must have for it to work. You buy all those. Yeah, you're right, Kim, I'd have to swatch it. That's right. Tina swatches yarns all the time and uses the same hook. But she's probably used to her own tension. Tension? Yes. Wow, that aircon's getting a bit cool. I was at that point of tossing up whether I need it or not today. And then I sort of sat in here under the lights for a few minutes. I'm like, yeah, no, I need that. I'm really liking how this is coming out. Look, we'll turn it so it's got all the colours on the screen. But these two are coming out a bit different than what they look. That's about right. That's about right. This is a pink, not a white, but it's a very soft pink. That's pretty close. It's a bit pinkier, but it's pretty close. That's actually got a little bit of pink in it as well. And that's just brown. Brown. So I love working on this queen, honestly. I've found that the reason I haven't worked on it for a few days is because I would be all like, I'll just do a row, you know, while I have my lunch. Next thing you know, it's time to go and get my daughter from school, and I've not wasted, but there's other things I should have been doing, but instead I was crocheting on my queen. So I've had to sort of give myself a no queen through the day rule. Because I've had to do other jobs, tasks that must be completed. Yes. Sorry guys, my voice is starting to go, I think. I'm not sure why, but it was a bit raspy this morning when I woke up. My asthma's been playing up something fierce, which has not been nice. The air quality at the moment is really bad. Kelly says it's how I feel too. I can't just craft in my lunchtime, otherwise it makes it hard to go back to work. Yeah, definitely. It really does. It really does. I mean, which says a lot about your project, honestly, because A, your project is addictive and you just want to make it. And this one's got such a long way to go. So how many colors is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on the 6th color of 12. And then I have to repeat those. And then I have to do the, you know, the scary edging thing. The encapsulates all the ends, which also creates such an amazing finish. I love the finish. And I've done the sample size version of it, which I thought was fantastic. I don't know how I feel about doing a queen size with it, like, I'm lurking while I was working, and I just came back and you are still going, and then it hit me, Queensland doesn't have daylight savings. No, we don't. So I probably started a bit late for you, and then because in Australia daylight savings kicked in this weekend just gone, and so I think Queensland's the only state on the eastern seaboard that doesn't do daylight savings. So just keep an eye out on time zone changes. I know some US states are changing their daylight savings soon as well. So I'll still be running from 10 till 12 Thursday morning for me here in Brisbane. So which is Australian Eastern Standard Time, not daylight savings time. I'm at AEST. So yeah. Oh, in November the US changes stuff, so they've still got a few more weeks. Okay. But no, yes, we're still going here. Still going. Making my row 75 of McQueen. McQueen. That sounded so awkward then, didn't it? So, John, are you in the US or in Canada? Just out of curiosity. Because I know Freaky's in Canada. It means I don't miss the first half anymore for a meeting. Oh, that's awesome, Mel. That's so good. You're in the US. It's in the US. Okay, thanks, Kim. USA. USA. Mass. I'm 50 miles south of Boston. Okay. Where are we at? All right. So, I'm off to Mean Mothers shortly. And they are a yarn store. I'm probably going to buy a yarn, but I've been very interested in checking out these Etimo hooks that they've got, because tulip were my first love of hooks. And I do love a good tulip hook. But over the years I've become more used to using the clovers. But I don't know, the tulips are nice too. I think the tulips are squishier. So I want to check out the tulips and see if I would like to, you know, gift myself an extra 4 mil. I also need a 4.5 mil for my collection. My 4.5 mil has gone walkies and I cannot find it. So I need a 4.5 mil. So maybe I should get myself a 4.5 mil tulip if they've got one. And I don't know what else I'll buy. I have to wait and see, because I might get there and be like, oh my God, they've got one of these things. I must have it. But it's not likely to be yarn, or not likely to be much yarn. There may be a bit of yarn. A little bit of yarn. So, yes. Yeah, anything else I should look at while I'm there? Kathy says that it's 7 p.m. instead of 6 for her. Is that better? Will you get the red hook? I don't know. I have to have a look. I'm using a 10-inch long 4.5 Tunisian hook for my queen. Why? Is there a reason, or is that just the size that was the only thing you had a 4.5 in? Kelly says, I like the tulip handle better, but the clover metal is so smooth. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We can't have all of the things in one hook, and so I went for the smooth metal. Kathy says, I have a 6.5 mil tulip Etimo. I'm very, very lucky, but my husband many years ago bought me a set of the tulip Etimo hooks. They're the ones with the little gold heads and the grey coloured handles. But that was like 12, 13 years ago. And I have lost a couple of them. So So there's gaps in my set, but also the rubber is starting to perish, and so it's tacky and I don't like it. The tulips have got a metal head and a squishy grip, or at least the Etimo have got metal heads and squishy grips. I don't know if they do a straight metal hook. They may do. Kathy says it's the end of dinner, but we'll have to miss a few minutes when it's time for Tigger to go to bed. Fair enough. Fair enough. Just double check I'm doing this right. Looks right so far. We'll find out. Yeah, it's a bit awkward when all the time zones and stuff change, and just rearranging and working out what the time is for you now and stuff like that. I get it. I get it, but it's still the same time for me. I haven't changed anything on my end. John says I don't pencil hold, so you hold over the top like a knife holder. I have to move my arms so much more to crochet this way. I remember a few years ago I would crochet like this all the time. This was my go-to. This was the only way I knew how to crochet. And a friend at the time, because I crocheted very slowly as well, because I was not good. I was a beginner. And she walked up to me and she whacked me over the back of the hand with like I think it was a 6mm. It felt huge, but I think it was a 6mm hook. And she was just like, if you want to speed up, you've got to hold your hook differently. And I was just like, what do you mean? And then she taught me how to do this. And for me, it made a difference. I've now learnt that everyone likes to crochet a different way. But this way definitely worked better for me. But in saying that, because I've gotten to be a more experienced crocheter, even going the other way is fine. And I notice that when I'm using big hooks, like anything over about an 8mm, I automatically overhand it than underhand. The death grip, like stab, stab, stab. We're not picking on you, John. We think you're awesome. And you crochet how you crochet. John doesn't go both ways. Well, maybe you should learn, John, and be a bit more open-minded. And see if it makes a difference in your tension. It may well. It may not. You may not be able to get a hang of it, but it might be worth a try. One thing I do notice is that I'm a bit more handsy with my yarn. I don't just let the hook do all the work. I can't just like like just keeping my hands out of the way and just letting the hook do everything is really awkward for me. My fingers get in there and they move the yarn, and I don't even think about it. My hand just automatically, it's like it's tapping the stitches to hold the stitches in place on the hook. I don't even think about it. It might end up all loosey-goosey if you pen hold. Maybe after a few bottles of Moscato. Like, if you have to booze it up to be willing to try it, then, you know, go to the bottle shop. I don't actually recommend boozing it up before you yarn craft, honestly. Friends don't let friends drink and knit. Sally says pencil grip feels weird, even though that's obviously how I write every day. Like, and that's the thing, like, it really is very similar, but like, I crochet like a crazy thing. I hold my pen like this. I'm like a death gripper on my pen. So, but yeah, I don't know why it's different. It just is. A package store. Okay. A packy for sure. Is that what you guys call bottle-os? What if you held it more like a pencil and not like a pen? Well, Freaky, you got to do what you got to do, man. If you need to hold it like a pencil rather than a pen, then you do that. We could only hope it would relax himself. Like, here's hoping, Jen. Oh, bottle shop is a packy. Okay. All right, so we call it bottle-o. Kim has mail at the post office. Abby's just had this pair of shorts delivered, and I'm not a fan. My mum radar went off when the package arrived. I'll grab it. Okay, so Abby's ordered these pants. I'm not going to open it up. I approved the pants. The pants are fine, right? They're lovely. They're like knee-length shorts. But it's a company called Nasty Gal, which I'm like, that's great. But then on the front, Nasty Gals do it better. I'm just like, I love that they've got these great satchels. Like, I love the packaging. I love that you can hold it. I think that's all fantastic. I hate this. This I hate. I hate it so much. So much. Oh. We might have to do some blurring later. You hate the name of that shop? Me too. It's a clothing store. As a mum of teenagers, I agree. Thank you, Mel. Abby is 15. She is, yeah. It's just a pair of shorts, but I don't understand why that has to be on the packaging. It's like, it's owned by Boohoo, who I buy clothes from, but it's like a younger, trendier version. So, but yeah, I was really not a fan of that when I saw it come, but I love the bright colors of the packaging. Like, I love all the coloring. I love the shape of the bag, that it's got a handle. I think that's so cool. I don't understand why that has to have that hashtag. Yeah, they're aimed at teenagers, yeah. Oh, my daughter is 7, just fearing for the future. Well, yeah. But like, and this is the thing, like Abby found herself some really appropriate shorts. They're like mid-thigh length, like they're between, like, you know, they're long enough. Yeah, I'm with you, Freaky. I think the same thing. I just was just like, cringy. It's so cringy and tacky. Jackie says, I hate anything that promotes mean girls cultures like Bratz dolls. Yeah, we didn't do Bratz dolls here. Jessica says, my daughter's 23 and with 2 kids and I still would not allow that store. Yeah. I don't understand why that has to be called Nasty Gal. Yes, I agree. I don't like it. Abby's got her own money, and so she told me that there's a parcel coming. And I was like, where from? And I was like, really, Abby? Really? So, I mean, she'll be chuffed. She'll be so excited because she's been waiting for a little while for them to come. So she'll be really thrilled that they're here. But, yeah, I'm so hoping they fit. Spanish Chick says she just got an email from Jetstar saying the Tassie border is set to reopen soon. Jackie! Are you going to jump the border and go and visit your mum? That's what I did this weekend, you guys. I went and visited my mum. It was so nice. We tried really hard not to cry. It was so good to see each other. But it also at the same time felt like we hadn't been apart for 6 months. It was such a nice visit. But not to Melbourne. No, not yet, Gamer Widows. Soon though, you guys are doing really well down there. Keeping the cases nice and low. Lots of testing still happening is the question, because the case, you know, there's always that. We have to wait and see if those idiots on the beach ruined it for everybody. I'm at the end of another row. How cool. All right. Well, I'm going to finish this row off and then we're going to go. I have a customer who married a guy from Melbourne and they live in Tassie now. Ah, there you go. Tassie's nice. I mean, from the photos, because I've never been. Freaky says, I think we jumped the gun on stage 3. Much of Ontario had to go back to stage 2 as cases jumped overnight last weekend. Yeah, unfortunately, people just get a little overzealous and go, yay! You know, it's hard to explain that you've still got to, like, the restrictions might be easing, but you still need to be cautious. So, and I think it'll be especially hard for people from Melbourne who have been in lockdown for such a long time to readjust to not being in lockdown. It's a long flight. Yeah. I've not been to the US either, and that's somewhere I really wanted to go, you know, last year. And not so much this year. But yeah, it's definitely, like, there's places I want to see. And I think that's what we're getting too, Sally. I think in Brisbane we're only getting, we're not getting local transmission. We're getting cases from people who are in quarantine. Jackie says 13 hours to LA from Sydney, then across to the US. Yeah, like there's stuff I want to do in LA, but there's also stuff I want to do in New York. So it's like opposite sides of the country. Yeah. I had no trips planned. There's two what are they called? They're not seminars. They're I can't even think now. Like Vid Summit, which is a YouTube educator and video business, and then there's also VidCon in the USA, which are conventions. Kim, thank you. That's the word I was trying to think of. And I really, really, really wanted to go, but now I'm less really, really wanting to go. So, 1, 2, and then 3. All right, Talia, we're about to go though. I'm just finishing off the row. It is 12:03 here in Brisbane, so it is a bit, time zones are playing with people. All right, what do I do with those scissors? There they are. I actually have 2 pairs of scissors, like one's under the blanket. All right, mark it off. 75 is complete. When do I change colors next? On 83. Okay, don't lose the hook. Put the hook with the pen. All right, so this is where we're at, guys. Thanks so much for joining into today's live chat, where we started out talking about all things extra crafty, all the crafts. And then we just sat and chilled and crocheted for a couple of hours. So, you know, it's awesome. I'm going to go and take my queen off, and then I'm going to go and check out Mean Mothers in Beenleigh. So if you're local and you want to, if you go there, I will see you. Anyway, ranting. It was ranting. I started out ranting. You're right, Kim. You're right. I'm going to go and have a fantastic time at my sewing camp. Thank you, Alison. Not as bad as last week's. Last week's was, I was really angry last week. Today's was more joyful rantings. Joyful rantings. That should be the name for YouTube channel. Anyway, I will catch you all next week. Be good. Bye.